Before starting today's video, I just want to say Happy New Year. I am so excited to be in the year 2022 and just for all the goals that come with it. So I hope everyone had a wonderful 2021 and I wish everyone the best in 2022. Today I wanted to share an experience with you guys that recently changed my whole entire life, and it actually ended up benefiting me when it actually seemed really, really scary in the beginning. So that journey is going from 2 cars to 1. You might hear my little Molly playing in the background. She's playing monkeys jumping on the bed in her room, but nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into it. Start off by saying that I realized that going from 2 cars to 1 or 3 cars to 1 or anything like that depends on the family size. For me, it is just me, my husband, and my little 2-year-old. So having 1 car is actually pretty ideal and not impossible for our family. Another thing that's beneficial for us is ever since the pandemic, Xavier has worked from home, which was a big deciding factor in us deciding to have 1 car. It all started about 3 months ago and Xavier and I were having a finance meeting, and we were sitting down and we were talking about ways that we can lower our bills. Mind you, we had already cut out a lot of things. We recently got rid of Netflix, we got rid of our gym memberships, and just, all those little things that we can control. And we were left with car payments, rent, insurance, things that you absolutely have to pay that aren't really negotiable. And then while we were having our meeting, Xavier brought up a point. He said, I don't know if you realize this, Kenzie, but one of our cars is really just kind of sitting in the lot all the time. We don't really use it anymore. So we had switched off, and I do want to point out also that I have never come from a family that only had 1 car. I've always had 2. I grew up with my family having 2, so to me it was just normal. But the car was just sitting there, so we decided to attack that idea. I'll be very honest when I tell you that when he mentioned getting rid of a car, I was absolutely not for it. Like I said, I was so used to one way of doing it. And then once I started to kind of take on that we could do that, I started to have some fears. One, like I said, I've never had just 1 car, and I started to think about all the luxuries of having 2. So if one of the cars is in the shop, it's so easy for me to take it in and have Xavier and Molly come pick me up, and we'll function with 1 car while that one's in the shop. And what if once it's sold, we regret it? So I was really, really nervous, but I just said, let's just do some research on it. Let's just see what we have to do. And if we don't want to, then we don't have to take that route. But I decided to just do some research into it anyway. When we started to look to sell our car, almost every single dealership wanted to do like a trade-in. And that didn't work for us because we didn't want another car. We wanted to get rid of it and get rid of the payment and the insurance. So finally, a company reached out to us, which was literally like up the street from us. And what they did was they offered to buy our car, so pay off the bank, and to give us the surplus in a check written personally to us for whatever was left over. So in this case, they ran the Kelley Blue Book value, and we had a good few $1,000s that could come to us. So automatically, we knew that this was a plan that we could work with and one that was going to be beneficial for our family. So from there, they were super nice. We stopped the research, and Xavier and I started to talk to each other again because I was so nervous. Before we decided to go through with the sale, I sat down with Xavier and I said, I have to go over these few things. I want to have a set plan. Hi, baby. So one of the things I knew I would have to do, are you gonna say hi? Hi. Was I knew that we had to plan more. With 2 cars, it's so easy to just kind of not worry about each other's schedule, because if one of them has the car, then I can just take the other one. So I knew we had to plan a little bit more ahead about who's gonna have the car and what. Again, I do want to point out Xavier does work from home, so it made it really easy for me to have the car to go out with Molly and such. So one of the other things we made sure, as much as we could, was we made sure with his bosses if they were going to be at home a little bit more permanently, and that ended up working out in our favor, which was a huge deciding factor. We knew that it was possible that we might have to ask for rides. It's hard to plan out the rides all the time because you know, you never know what's going to come up, but you have to get used to being humble enough to like ask for a ride if you need a ride to church or to a play date or anything like that. And then we just realized that we had to keep in contact with each other a lot more. So if I spontaneously wanted to go somewhere, we do usually go everywhere together. So, you know, but it does require more planning. So with the extra plans in mind and knowing the surplus that was going to come to us and the money that was going to be saved, we decided to sell our car. When we got to the dealership, they did the normal check of the car and everything, and we sold it to them that day. Molly, you silly. Where's your doctor shot? Where's your doctor shot? Do you want it? Or is it Mama's? No, talk. Do you want it or is it Mama's? Mine. And so then we had to wait about 2 or 3 weeks because they're going to pay off my bank, and then the check came to us. And it was really nice. They told us that it could either be mailed or we could pick it up, which we chose to pick it up just because, you know, it was super close and who doesn't want to have that extra money sitting in their bank account? Ultimately, selling our car and going from 2 to 1 is one of the best things that has happened to our family. There's just so many benefits. The benefits of that check coming to us and not having to trade in the car. We are saving over $400, not having a payment anymore on that car, and then an additional like about, I want to say 150, 170 from not having to pay the insurance on that car. And then my credit was boosted up because the car was paid off. Like I said, I know that the jump from multiple vehicles to just one may not be ideal for every family, but if you're a small family thinking about just having one car, I think it's worth it. It helps you save a lot of money. I don't want to say that there are no hiccups when it comes to it, because there are. One of the first examples that's coming to my mind is I sometimes play the organ for church on Sundays, which means I have to be there a little bit earlier. So sometimes, you know, I might get a ride with somebody else who's at my church and go early if they're going early, or I might take the car and I can get a ride. That has only happened one time if we choose not to ride together, depending on what's going on with Molly. But they're there, but they're easily worked through. So I hope I answered any questions or inspired anybody who was thinking about that. And I was just so excited to share this experience with you because it significantly helped our family. I'll see you guys in the next video.